Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Peace be on all. This is Muel from the Philosophical Muslim channel and the Muel channel as well, because sometimes I'll put videos on the Philosophical Muslims channel if they're basically less than 15 minutes. If they're above 15 minutes, I'll put them on my own channel, the Muel channel. Today I would like to discuss what atheism entails, okay? And the reason I want to discuss what atheism entails is because a lot of atheists came out of the woodwork, like I mentioned before, in this day and age, and they say they misrepresent philosophy, because in philosophy, every position in life, matter of fact, not just philosophy, in life, every position that you choose comes with a consequence. Okay, so for example, be careful of your thoughts, because your thoughts can become words. Words can turn into actions. Actions can become habits, and habits can be character. And character could be your destination. Okay? So stop being heedless and know what atheism entails, because it does entail nihilism. And if it entails nihilism, then you're an absurdist. You're absurd, pretty much. You're an absurdist, because why would a nihilistic reality grant us consciousness, cognition, metacognition, rationality, sight, hearing, and all these things? And an intellect, and a purpose on a social scale, but not on a cosmological scale. Why would a life grant us that? All of these things, and then at the end of the day, just nihilism. No ultimate accountability. All we do is just stare into the abyss. The bottom line is this: if once we die, we're gone forever, then what's the point? Why are we on this planet? Why do we have a social construct? Why do we have laws and order and all this stuff? Why do we seek such way of living instead of the opposite, which would be synonymous to nihilism, and that is anarchism. Anarchism becomes a fact of the matter under atheism, nihilism, absurdism, anarchism. But instead, the social contract is in line with the Islamic divine covenant. And this makes the most sense. It makes sense intellectually. Now, if you want to debase yourself in folly and say, but with God life is absurd as well, then you're really trying to delve into you're trying to muddy the water. Basically, you're trying to say, you know what, everything is absurd, with or without God, because you're trying to think beyond this reality without comprehending what it entails to have intellect, a rationality. A rationality is from the sublime at the end of the day. Under atheism, life is absurd. Why would an absurd life grant us rational faculties to detect absurdism? Is that what it is? We've been given these faculties to come up with such conclusions. Again, this is not philosophy, this is misosophy. Atheism is a joke, it's self-defeating. But under monotheism, Islam provides us with answers. Submit to Allah and you're free. Free from materialism and your own ego. And free from having numerous masters. Boss, job, people, money, greed, urges, desires, etc. They become just an entity that you deal with to live, but not to worship, sanctify, and revere with sycophancy. One might delve outside the box and claim, but with God, life is more absurd. Why must there be a God? Why must there be an existence and a reality which is beyond this absurd reality? Wouldn't that just add to absurdism? This is as far as a human mind reach. This is as far as the human mind can reach. As we have only attained very little in knowledge. But the fact of the matter, or the fact that our intellectual faculties ask such questions entails they're from the sublime, a majestic supreme reality that your own mind cannot fathom while being constrained and bound into this naturalistic physical reality. Hence, when such state of mind is experienced through a higher state of consciousness, your spiritual state is in awe. There is no way of explaining it in human language, or comprehending it with human cognition. That doesn't suggest that it's absurd, but once you're acquainted with it, you'll come to a realization that your main purpose in this reality was to always seek it. Those who neglect it miss out on it, but those who seek the opposite of it sink into the abyss. Folly is what they sought, and inanity is what they received. Be careful of what you wish for. If you really want this reality to be absurd, and nihilism is the fact of the matter, and stare into the abyss, then perhaps that's what you'll receive at the end. Not that you won't be conscious anymore, but maybe you'll be in the bottom pit of hell. Because let's be frank, with God, things make sense, because our social contract as well is in line with the divine contract. We've been entrusted with free will. But under nihilism, atheism, anarchism is the fact of the matter. There shouldn't be law and order. There should be chaos, like hell. But our innate disposition is always seeking law and order. We want order so we can be able to function as a people in a civilized society. And that's what we want. We want civilization. We want knowledge. We want truth. We seek all these things. But the person who claims life is nihilistic and absurd, he debased himself in folly. And that's what it will be at the end. That's the outcome. An evil resting place with no rest, matter of fact. And that's hell. So be careful of what you wish for at the end of the day. So keep in mind, atheism has nothing to offer. It's empty. It's just something that's been propagated on a social scale, like a new shoes or a new video game or something that you basically use for a bit and then abandon and discard. Atheism provides no coherence whatsoever. So we need to reflect, okay, and ponder, because at the end of the day we do possess some mystical faculties, consciousness, cognition, metacognition. They could have not arose based on physical processes. And whoever says they randomly arose based on physical processes, they should not trust their own reasoning. Intrinsically, we're not just physical stuff. We have a soul. Just like when we go to sleep and we dream, we're in a dream realm, a realm of dreams. It's almost real, and it can affect as well our physical bodies in this reality. Okay? So the bottom line is this. Maybe we're in a dream within a dream within a dream. And the real abode is the final abode, the final reality. So take heed. Don't go around assuming that atheism is the fact of the matter, there is no God. Because let's be frank, people would rather be comfortable in their own sanity, assuming they're sane, when in reality, when you come up with a conclusion that is absurdism, nihilism, you go insane like Friedrich Nietzsche at the end of his life. You lose your marbles. You go insane. And that's what it is. People assume they're sane because people would rather maintain their sanity based on these false assumptions, which eventually becomes compounded ignorance, the Dunning-Kruger effect, than know the truth or learn about the truth. Because let's be honest, nihilism is insane. And if you really want to look into the fact that you are going to be judged, and there's a hell and a heaven, hell sounds insane. Let's be frank, hell sounds insane. People being tortured, punished, burned. It sounds insane. But so is nihilism. But then when you look at the opposite of hell, which is heaven, it sounds like a delightful, pleasant place. It's not insane. And that's what we want to reach. We want to cancel out this insanity and be in a place of sanity, a place of bliss, a place where it's coherent, things make sense. We're in awe that we cannot even explain it because it's amazing. It's awesome. It's magnificent. Not this misosophy. And let's be frank, at the end, we live on a social scale that is in line, as they say, as above, so as below. As above, so as below. So if above we had a divine covenant being entrusted with free will, below we also have a social contract. And we have to basically follow the laws and the rules and the regulations, or else we go to jail. So it's the same thing. We've been programmed, hardwired to basically be or operate based on reward and punishments. And that's what it is at the end of the day, because human is bound to make mistakes, and this life is a test. So if nihilism is the fact of the matter, and you honestly have certitude in nihilism, if life throws at you a curveball or tests you with trials and tribulations and calamities, go out with a bang, bro. Go out with a bang. You don't have to obey nobody. Become an anarchist, because anarchism is synonymous with nihilism. And nihilism, that's what it is. It's synonymous with nihilism, anarchism. But when you look at the social contract, it is in line with the divine covenant. We have one ruler, one king. And like I always say, you reject a temporal king based on a social contract, you get temporal punishment. But you reject a divine king or an eternal king based on a divine covenant, you face eternal punishment. And I'll leave you at that. Peace out. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.